Alright guys, it's time to look at Telcoin or TEL on the channel for the first time since this candle right here on the 18th of October. So we're talking about 3 weeks ago guys, and we find ourselves much lower than that point. But there is some good news. We are still within this channel guys. If I zoom out you'll see, and basically when you break these channels to the upside, they usually go back to the top of where it came from. So you're looking at 0.007 if it can break this channel to the upside. But it has a lot of resistances before it gets there, guys. You can see all of these resistance here on the side, plus it has to break out of the Fibonacci here, as well as the next Fibonacci level. So it's not going to be an easy task, but that's what happens usually when you break channels to the upside. Now, we are still making lower lows, and I have marked these off with this blue line here. And you can see if I zoom out, you know, you just have a lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, and the next lower low. So not a good sign. It needs to start making higher highs here. Now just taking a look here at the volume profile, you can see there is a tough road ahead. Basically, we are right here on this candlestick. So yeah, to go up, you have this huge speed bump here, guys. The point of control sits at 0.00521, as you see right here in red. So it's got to basically almost double to get to that point. Once it gets over about, let's say, 0.0055, then the ride up will be a lot easier. Basically, it's going to stair step its way up. But guys, you have this huge speed bump right here. Now looking at the Bollinger Bands here, you can barely see it, but there is some blue lines right here. They're pretty much going parallel, little bit narrow. As you can see, it was much wider before, but I don't think it's pinching together, so nothing as to the price action here is from the Bollinger Bands, at least on a weekly time frame. Now, the daily time frame, we do have like an intestine here, basically. I don't see any pinching. Basically, it did have a little bit of narrowness here on the 28th, but that has resulted in some downward action. But probably it's not really due to the Bollinger Bands. Looking at the RSI and stochastic here, guys, you can see that the stochastic on a weekly time frame is just about to turn around here, probably cross the red line within the next week. It's pretty much bottomed here on a weekly. The RSI is at its lowest point too, and kind of going sideways, so that's also not too bad. You know, it's right in the middle, a little bit below the middle of this neutral zone. So I do see that both of these probably will turn around to the upside shortly. Now, if we go to the daily time frame, just coming out of this oversold territory, so that is a good thing. Both are pointed up here on RSI and stochastic. Now, 4-hour time frame. Getting a little bit overheated on stochastic, unfortunately. RSI is still coming up, pointed, you know, it's slanted up. It's not heavily pointed up like it was here. It's slanted to the upside, but right in the middle, basically, and has some room to grow, of course. Now, the 1-hour time frame, overheated on both, unfortunately. Probably about to come down because, yeah, we have 99s here on stochastic. RSI isn't actually really close to 100 or anything. It can still go up, honestly. But again, it's just overheated on both. So let's see. Let's take a look at the 15. 15 is actually coming down here on stochastic. Just about to get into this oversold territory. That's a good thing. But the RSI is kind of flirting with being overheated. So little bit of a mixed signal, especially once it turns around, if it still stays in this overheated territory. But guys, on the longer term time frames, let's just put this on a 4-hour for now. I think this is probably poised to go up, but the next resistance is this 0.003388. And let's see if it can at least make it back there. There is some news today that could push this, you know, higher, but we just have to wait and be patient, guys. Now, one more piece of data to consider, guys, is the MACD. Now, I know the blue line is pointed pretty heavily to the downside here, unfortunately, and we do have dark red candles. I do imagine that this is probably about to turn around in the next week or two. We're probably going to see a light red candle, and probably this will start to curve a little bit. So let's see. That's just my, you know, intuition, my thought, my idea. It's not anything based on any data. Basically, the data is showing that it's going down, but I just feel it's probably at the end of this, you know, red period here. Now, if we look at the daily time frame, already starting to turn around here. Basically, since the 10th of October, there's only been a couple of small green days here. And basically, it looks like it's starting to fade with this red period. We're getting a light red candle. Blue line is about to tick around and probably cross this red line to the upside. So yeah, I do believe, in the daily time frame, starting to look good. Not looking good just yet, but starting. So yeah, I do believe the weekly is about to turn around as well, but that's just my idea. Now, Telcoin is number 226 coin. It's up about 15% today, and it has a max supply of 100 billion, as I've said before. I don't really like coins that are over 10 billion, but this one has a following, guys. Whenever I do these videos on Telcoin, I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of views. So yeah, it's something like ADA or Tron or XRP, and these coins tend to get eaten up pretty quickly, especially when they're at this price at 0.003, guys. I mean, a lot of people are buying. I am tempted to buy at this price as well. We'll see. I do have a little bit of free money, and I don't have Telcoin just yet. Now, the all-time high was about 6.5 cents. That was about 4 years ago. I think it was pretty much in the middle of the last cycle. Now, the all-time low, if you bought 5 years ago, you're still sitting pretty at 5,000%. I don't think we're going to make it back there anytime soon. Probably never, hopefully. But anyways, is it going to make it back to its all-time high? It didn't really see a full cycle, so it is possible. But I would be cautious and say, especially with this type of supply, 3, 4, maybe 5 cents. If it makes it higher, great, excellent. I'm proud, for you guys that have it. But I just don't see it making back to 6.5 cents, probably the cycle. Now, looking at Bitcoin, we do have a green daily candle, so this is starting to look a little bit better. Sitting at 101.5, basically, guys. I know the past 2 days were bloody. We've gone down about, $10, $11, $12,000 if you look at the bottom of these wicks. And yeah, we've actually gone under 100,000. And I remember George from Cryptos R Us, saying that we're never going to see under 100,000 again the other day. And guys, I was just thinking to myself, anything can happen. So I do believe we will, in the bear market, see probably even 70,000. But that's just my guess, guys. Now, we are getting a green candle. We're getting support here at the moment at about, 101, basically flat, we can just call it. And we do need to start crossing back to the upside over some of these resistances and make our way back above this resistance here, where it was holding as support from the 10th of October all the way to the breakdown on the 3rd of November. Now, the Bitcoin monthly returns, usually we have a pretty good month in November. Now, I know it started off pretty bad at, minus 7.3% here, but the average return is about 42%, and the median is about 8.81. So don't give up just yet. We're sitting at the 5th of November. We still have 25 more days, basically 25 and a half more days to get back to the plus here. So let's see if we can do that. Now, if we go to Ethereum, this is what I'm a little bit more worried about. I'm looking at this on a 4-hour time frame. Now look, at this little trend line that it basically supported us all the way from about 10th of October, similar to Bitcoin, guys. We got a lot of bounces along it, and maybe we can kind of adjust this like this, but doesn't really matter where we put it. You can see it did reject here, and we got the final rejection on Monday, the 3rd of November. And after that point, guys, we just saw a massive downside. So right now, we have gotten support here on this Fibonacci, and that is about $3,200. And guys, if we do not make it back in this channel and we close a weekly candle, let's put this on a weekly time frame. This is what this looks like right now. Basically, I would say we're in a bear market. Now, this bear market doesn't have to be a long bear market. It can be relatively short. It depends on a lot of economic data and things, globally that are just happening right now and going against, everything. Basically, stocks, crypto, doesn't matter, guys. Everything is being affected right now. So let's see what happens. We're at $3,300. We're in the middle of the week. We still have plenty of time. This could be just one very long wick. Now, again, making lower wicks is not a good thing either, because we're breaking down, outside of these wicks. we're breaking lower. So that is not a good sign either. But let's see what happens. Now, before I go a little farther in this video, guys, you can claim some bonuses on my favorite crypto exchanges below. I have exchange partnerships with Bybit, MEXC, BingX, Bitrue, BTC, WEX, and CoinEx, guys. Also, if you're looking for Mutix, you can get a free 7-day trial here. And guys, if you're looking for a cold wallet, CypherRock X1, they are about to do airdrops there. They haven't started the airdrops yet, but I was informed by CypherRock that they're going to start airdropping in this wallet. So basically, you know, you can buy a wallet that pays you. So in the end, I think it's actually a pretty good wallet, and you can get 17% off today if you use this link. And guys, you can follow me on X here. Now, looking at the crypto total market cap, guys, we're sitting at 3.34 trillion. So we did get a rejection today at 3.38. Basically, it got pretty close. Didn't really touch it, but got very close. But we need to get back in this channel, and pretty much this is the same as the Ethereum chart almost. If we go to the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, again, we see the same thing. We've dropped out of the channel. Need to get back in that channel. Now, if we go to the Bitcoin dominance, starting to get a red candle today. Yesterday, it did try to push up. Did get kind of a doji green candle, very, very small green candle here. Already starting to fall back. Let's see if we can actually fall under 60.46%. Then we need to break this trend line to the downside. Now, the money flow basically is coming back into crypto. As you see here, we do have a red candle finally, and we're getting a little bit of a push down. So this is a good thing. We're at 5.49% though on the USDT dominance. We need people to put their money back in the crypto. But you can see, guys, this target here, this inverse head and shoulders, it did play out and go a little bit more. This is just the technical target though, guys. So yeah, it did actually exceed this target. Now, I don't believe we have 100 on the altcoin season index. In the past, we actually saw this a couple of times. And I think it was around here, really. And you don't see those wicks now. I think it was just some anomaly, some error. But right before the video, it was at a 39. Probably has ticked up just slightly, if anything. Now, if we look at liquidation heat map, $1.71 billion have been wrecked in the last 24 hours. That's pretty big, guys. It's not as big as October the 10th, but still very big. Fear and greed at a 23 today, so we did slightly tick up here. Yesterday was a 21. Next update in about 12.5 hours. If we look at the bull market peak indicators, we are now under 50%. So basically, we're 50% through the bull run. That's what this is, basically saying. It's still 100% hold. There's 0 from 30 of these indicators that are hit still. The Pi cycle top indicator has gone under 50% now. And if you want to see what that looks like, that's what this looks like, guys. This is what 49% really looks like. Basically, it looks like it's starting to fade away from this green line. It looks like this orange line is starting to tick down now. Now, as for the economic data, we are going to get ADP non-farm employment change, PMI, ISM numbers, factory orders, and JOLTS job openings today. Also, President Trump is speaking today. I don't know what about, but maybe about tariffs probably. If we look at Mutix, guys, you can see the sentiment is still risk on, but this trend is now fading, unfortunately. The week has been pretty negative so far, and today is slightly positive. So let's see, maybe we get some better news. But yeah, the trend is unfortunately fading here. Now, FedWatch Tools is showing about a 72% chance of a quarter point cut in December. And if we look at Polymarket, pretty much the same odds here. But we do have a 2% chance of a 50 basis point decrease. And then there's a 1% chance of an increase. So don't think the increase is going to happen, and probably not the 50 point basis, decrease. Trueflation is starting to go down a little bit. We have 2.21%. If we look at the crypto bubbles today, not looking too good, but I see a lot of green here. So maybe shortly we're going to see a green day, but let's see what happens. If you want to stake your coins, guys, go to Coinondo. I just did an internet computer video yesterday. You can check that out. There were 20 results, but do your homework before you just start throwing your coins around. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, share this video with your friends. Like I said, please check out some of those partnerships that I have below. Also, you know, the CypherRock Wallet X1, they're going to give airdrop soon. So just reminding you about that. And guys, wish my daughter a happy birthday today. She turns 11. So I probably won't be making any videos tonight, you know, but we'll see. Maybe I will. And anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.